Emma, a 22-year-old university student from Spain, always dreamed of speaking English fluently. She loved watching Hollywood movies and listening to pop songs, but she struggled to understand the lyrics or dialogues without subtitles. Her English level was basic. She knew simple phrases like, "Hello, how are you?" and "My name is Emma," but forming full sentences felt impossible. One day, she decided to change that. "I will learn English in 6 months," she promised herself. She didn't know where to start, but she was determined. Chapter 2, The First Steps. Emma began by downloading a language learning app. Every morning, she practiced vocabulary for 30 minutes. Words like apple, run, and happy were easy. But grammar rules confused her. Why was it I am but she is? Why did verbs change in the past tense? At first, she felt frustrated. She tried reading children's books, but even those were difficult. She often used a dictionary, which slowed her down. "This is harder than I thought," she sighed. Chapter 3, Making Mistakes and Learnings. One evening, Emma mustered the courage to join an online language exchange. She met Jake, a friendly American who wanted to learn Arabic. They decided to chat twice a week, half in English, half in Arabic. During their first conversation, Emma stumbled over her words. "I go to university, study, medicine," she said nervously. Jake smiled and corrected her gently. "You mean, I go to university. I study medicine." Emma wrote down every correction. She realized that making mistakes was part of learning. Immersing herself. YouTube tutorials with subtitles. At first, she understood only 30% of what was said, but slowly that number increased. She also started a diary in English. Every night, she wrote 3 sentences about her day. The first entry was simple. "Today I eat pizza. I talk with Jake. I happy done all." Over time, her sentences grew longer and more accurate. Chapter 5, The Breakthrough. By the 4th month, Emma noticed progress. She could understand most of Jake's messages without translating them. She even dreamed in English once. One day, her university announced a guest lecture in English. Nervous but excited, Emma attended. To her surprise, she understood about 70% of it. She took notes and asked a question afterward. The lecturer understood her, and that small victory made her proud. Chapter 6, Falling in Love with English. In the final 2 months, Emma's confidence soared. She read her first short novel in English, Charlotte's Web, and watched Friends Without Subtitles, laughing at the jokes. She no longer saw English as a difficult subject, but as a fun, useful tool. At the end of 6 months, she video called Jake without fear. They talked for an hour about cultures, dreams, and even politics. Her grammar wasn't perfect, but she could express herself clearly. To improve faster, Emma changed her phone's language to English. She followed English-speaking influencers on social media and watched. Chapter 7, The First Real Conversation. By the 3rd month, Emma felt a small shift. She could now understand basic conversations in movies, if she focused hard. One day, while buying coffee, a tourist asked her for directions in broken English. Her heart pounded, but she managed to respond. "Go straight, then turn left. The museum is there." The tourist smiled and thanked her. That tiny interaction filled her with confidence. "I can actually do this," she thought. Chapter 8, The Frustration of Plateaus. Progress wasn't always steady. Some days, Emma felt stuck. She'd forget words mid-sentence or mix up tenses. During one language exchange, Jake asked, "What did you do last weekend?" And she froze, unable to recall the past tense of go. "I go to park," Jake corrected her gently. "You went into the park," she groaned. Why is English so irregular? But she wrote down the mistake and drilled past tenses that night. Chapter 9, Discovering Media Magic. Emma's breakthrough came when she found a YouTube channel that explained English through song lyrics. She'd listen to Ed Sheeran's Perfect, read the lyrics, and analyze each phrase. We were just kids when we fell in love. Past simple. Soon, she binge-watched The Crown with English subtitles, pausing to repeat elegant phrases like, "I'm terribly sorry, man. That's utterly ridiculous." Chapter 10. The Diary That Talked Back. Her diary entries evolved from "Today I eat sandwich vice" to "Today, I argued with my brother about chores. He said, 'You're lazy.' But I'm just busy. Ugh. Anyway, I practiced 20 new vocabulary words. Victory! She giggled reading old entries, proof of her growth. Chapter 11. The Fear of Speaking. When her professor announced a class debate in English, Emma panicked. What if I sound stupid? But she prepared fiercely, rehearsing in front of a mirror. On debate day, her voice shook as she argued about climate change. We must protect environment because future generations will suffer. To her shock, her classmates clapped. The professor praised her ideas, not her grammar. Chapter 12. The Dream in English. One morning, Emma woke up startled. She'd dreamed entirely in English. In the dream, she'd given a TED Talk about language learning. Though she fumbled a few words, the audience cheered. My brain is finally thinking in English. She marveled. Chapter 13. Becoming the Helper. A new student from Syria joined her university. I can't understand the lectures, he confessed in Arabic. Emma volunteered to translate notes for him. Explaining complex terms in simple English solidified her own knowledge. Teaching is the best way to learn, she realized. Chapter 14. The B1 Test Triumph. On test day, Emma's palms sweated as she entered the exam hall. The listening section played a fast British accent, but she caught keywords. The essay question, describe a life-changing experience, was easy. She wrote about her English journey. Weeks later, she received the results. B1 passed. Jake sent her a voice note. I'm proud of you. Now, when are you visiting the US? Emma laughed. Soon. But first, time for B2. Chapter 15. A Trip Abroad. After passing her B1 exam, Emma decided to test her skills in the real world. She booked a solo trip to London, a 2-week adventure that would push her English to its limits. At the airport, her hands trembled as she approached immigration. The officer asked, "Purpose of your visit?" "Tourism and language practice," she answered, surprising herself with her clear pronunciation. Navigating the tube, ordering food, and even bargaining at Camden Market became daily victories. When a shopkeeper complimented her, "Your English is brilliant, love," Emma glowed with pride. Chapter 16. The Accent Hurdle. London's fast-paced slang and thick accents were a challenge. At a pub, a local joked, "You all right, Duck?" Emma froze. Duck? Like the bird. She spent evenings watching British comedies, like Peep Show, repeating phrases like, "Bloody hell!" and "That's proper dodgy." Jake teased her. "Now you sound like a Londoner." Sort of. Chapter 17. The University Interview. Back home, Emma applied for a scholarship to study public health in the UK. The Zoom interview panel included a stern, British professor who asked, "How would you address healthcare disparities in multilingual communities?" She paused, then answered fluently, weaving in her language learning journey as an example. The professor nodded approvingly. Chapter 18. Heartbreak in English. When her long-distance boyfriend, a fellow language exchange partner from Spain, broke up with her over a video call, Emma cried, but also noted bitterly, "At least he did it in perfect past perfect tense. I had fallen out of love." Her diary that night was raw but grammatical. "Today my heart broke, but my English didn't." Chapter 19. B2 and beyond. On the day of her B2 exam, Emma wore the same lucky sweater she'd worn for her B1 test. The writing prompt: describe a challenge that shaped you. She wrote about the tourist who'd asked for directions, the pub mishaps, the breakup, and how English had become her armor. When results arrived, passed with distinction, she video called Jake. "What's next?" he asked. Emma grinned. C1, then the world.